Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is September the 6th. It is Wednesday morning, and it is a bright sunny day here in good old state of South Carolina. If you did not catch me yesterday, I'm going to do a quick recap of the word I did, and yesterday's word was leadership. Leadership was a word that I did, and the definition is a set of behaviors used to help people align their collective direction, to execute strategic plans, and to continually renew an organization. That's the definition of leadership. Now, I keep giving you direction every morning, and the direction I'm giving you is go somewhere, purchase some good walking shoes. I mean, some good walking shoes because the road that we're going to take, it's going to be long, it's going to be hard, and I don't want you to get uncomfortable and stop walking because I'm going to keep inviting you to walk me each morning on the road to wisdom. And I invite you this morning. So, let's go. Good morning again. It is your host, Danny Graham. Welcome to my show, The Road to Wisdom. And I have something planned to do today. I even have my notes right here, like I always do. The word was going to be a particular word, but yesterday I went walking when I came home from work. I went walking. When I go walk, I have my headphones on, not these, or another pair that I have on. I listen to all kind of music, a lot of inspirational music. I notice when I listen to gospel and inspirational music, that my mind seems to go to a different place, another place, and thoughts start happening. I don't know whether the Lord is talking to me. I feel like He is, or trying to pop ideas into my head. And the idea that He popped into my head today was a thank you all on video, and that's what I want to do. I want to thank each and every one of you that watch my show, that support my show, that leaves me comments, that sends me texts, that sends me little memes or whatever the case may be. I know a lot of my friends, whenever I decided to change my show from Comic Chat to The Road to Wisdom, they were like, cool, cool. And I told my closest friends that I stream with, um, Anzo, Guy Scar, uh, told Roberto, Chris Knight, Rob Storm, the direction I was going and what happened, and they didn't skip a beat. They supported me, and I really, really, really want to thank Anzo. Anzo did this screen as you can see right here, and he did so much more stuff. I don't have the skill set to do it, to show what he's done. But if I want to do different things, he's made it look all nice and fancy. Let me see. I just want to briefly show y'all what he has given, that he has done. It is years ago. A friend I met years ago on YouTube, and he didn't have to do it. This is a very time consuming um, project, and he did it. I asked him, man, I like the way your screen look. How you do that OBS? And I can do some things on computer, but I don't have the patience to sit down and do it. But he walked me through it, and then he just took it over. He took it over. He said, Danny, hey, come on the backstage and let me show you what I got. And he did this right here for me. So I definitely thank you, Anzo, for doing that. You didn't have to do it, but he was my friend, and I love him, and I'm glad that he did it, and I appreciate it, and it's going to help the channel. So thank you. I want to thank, first and foremost, I want to thank God, because God, without Him, I wouldn't have been here. I would have been having the the drive, I guess, to do this show. And I would just want to thank Him, Lord, for on 4/21/23 this year. Um, he changed my life with the help of a man by the name of Pastor Derek Ford. And I was going through something that day, and I went there, and uh, he was able to have a conversation with me, and was able to pray with me, and able to let me change my life and save my soul. And I will eternally forever. As long as I live, I will never forget that. So I definitely want to appreciate him. I also want to say thank you to my wife and my family. Um, Danny sometimes can be very cold in the past, and I've been very cold in some things and kind of mean in some aspects of it. But I've always loved my wife, loved my family, would die for them. But since I've been saved, I have a new appreciation for them, and my wife, she's my Batman. I'm Batman. She's Robin. So we may not always agree, but I know she got my back. And sometimes in the past I've been difficult to live with in some aspects, as I guess we all have sometimes. But she's always been there, and so I definitely appreciate her and love her and my family, my daughters. I won't say their names, but my daughters, they know who they are. One is coming to visit us next week with my newest grandson, and I'm excited about that. And then my son, who is doing good things, he's in the armed forces, National Guard. He's doing his thing, and that's my core family. My two grandsons. Well, I got three grandsons, but two of them stay with me. Y'all see them from time to time on the videos popping in. Those are my boys, and I definitely appreciate and love all of them. And I just thank them for putting up with me sometime when I'm acting kind of grampyish and grumpyish rather. A lot of the people I want to thank too. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. But I just want to make sure I recognize everyone that has a hand in making me the man that I am and being a friend to me when I needed one and helping me with this whole show and just supporting me. The people at work that I work at, I can name them all. My boy, T. Brown. He comes on the show on Fridays and every day. And when I come to work, he'll be discussing some of the things. He likes some of the key points. Another co-worker, my name Demery, he always commenting on my shows and giving me pointers and stuff and constructive criticism. Always saying that he likes and like what I'm doing. I definitely appreciate it. I got some co-workers, additional co-workers. Gabe Cheeks. I sent it to McCoy. I talked to McCoy yesterday. He was saying him and his wife watch it and they support it and they're like some of the things I'm saying and just encouraging me. And that's good to hear because sometimes when you look at the numbers and the views are kind of low and you be like, oh, am I reaching the people? Am I talking to people? People are listening. Sometimes some days you don't get comments and stuff. You're like, I want anybody to pay attention. But I can't worry about that. I'm worrying about trying to, one, be positive, two, spread the word of God as best I can. I'm not a preacher. I'm not proclaiming to be a preacher. I have no desire to be a preacher at this particular time in my life. Now, if the Lord takes me in that direction, then I can't change what the Lord has planned for me. But right now, I have no desire to do that. I like what I'm doing right here. I feel comfortable. I'm going to continue doing this as long as I can do it. Another guy worked with me, Clark. We went fishing Okeechobee here earlier this year. Became really close on that trip, and he always guides me and tells me different things and different scriptures in the Bible. Give me a book with different words. I always try to explain different words and discuss different words, their meanings, and how they relate to things that we go through in life. So I definitely appreciate him. I appreciate my parents. I just talked to them this last Saturday. My older sister, we were over at the house and we had a good discussion. Probably about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And we were talking about different aspects of the Bible and how it relates to us and just really came together as a family. So we hadn't talked in a long time like that together. And my mom sent me a text and was like, man, we need to keep doing this. We do need to do this. But they've supported me. Whenever I call and discuss things, I know I'm going to get an intelligent, informed answer because they're proud of me, and I'm thankful for that. And they're also very proud of the fact that I've become a saved and a Christian, and I'm definitely proud and happy about that. So I definitely appreciate and thank them. My sister, she's saved as well. And I like reading and I like researching. So if it's something I hear and I'm like, I wanna read. That's why one of the things I do, is give you the definition, because I want to make sure that we're talking about the same thing, that there's no kind of miscommunication, there's everything is crystal clear, and that's why I read it off, because I want communicating does no good if you don't understand one another, or if you don't know the meaning of a word when it's used. So that's why I like to do it, because a lot of times, one thing about the Bible I've seen, that you can read this one Bible, and I get this verse, and then somebody else can read that same verse, interpret it different ways, and I'm always like, why is that? Because if I read a road map, it's going to tell me, if I want to go to here to Florence, it's going to tell me, okay, from Lake City you could take Highway 52 north and you run you straight into Florence. But the Bible can tell you something. God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. And then if somebody read that and they're like, well, this means this and this. And I was like, no, it means this. If you understand the English language, that's what it means. But I was taught, and what I'm learning is that the closer you become with God, the better understanding and the more that God will reveal to you. Because sometimes, if you're reading the Bible, depending on what Bible you read, it can be very confusing. They can use words that you never heard before, and you're like, what does that mean? So when I study and get ready, sometimes I use 3 different Bibles. I used King James Bible, Tony Evans Bible, and I got another study Bible. And then on top of that, I got like 2 apps on the phone. One called this, my pastor gave it to me, and what's the name of that app? You might want to get it, because it like breaks it, down to like the nth degree. The BLB, the Blue Letter Bible. And man, it breaks down every single word in the scripture. It tells you like what country it comes from, all this kind of stuff, and different things, so that it can enhance your sermon or it can enhance your lesson that you're trying to teach, because it gives you little nuggets that maybe you didn't know and that will intrigue people. So it's all different kind of tools out there. And I was reading this one book. I'm currently reading a book now, and I think it's called. I want to tell y'all the right thing before I say it. But the name of the book is called "This Book Is For You." This book is for you. It's on Audible, and it is by a author named by Trisha Lott Wilford. Trisha Lott Wilford. This book is for you. I'm in the middle of reading this, and she was just telling me how, basically, her first husband died. He had MRSA, and the doctors missed it. And when she died, she was kind of angry at God, angry at why he do this, because she said that God, the way she said it, I was like, it's true if you read the Bible. If you didn't do exactly what God said, then sometimes the punishment was death. And then Jesus was, sometimes in order for him to save you, you have to have faith. So she said she was stuck in between that. Did it do something for her to be punished, or did she not have enough faith? And that for a period, she just closed the Bible. She didn't want to read it. She didn't want nothing to do with it. She was just done with it. And then she started, one day she went to, I think she said Starbucks. And then because there's something was just bothering her, and then she sat there till she became inspired. And then once God had touched her, she became inspired. She started writing stuff down, and she wrote several books and stuff. And then she fell in love with the Bible. But a lot of times, she thought, and she was saying that people think the regular Bible is boring because of the way it's written and stuff, and it can be very dry, some of the books in the Bible. And she suggested that don't start off at the beginning. I start off at the beginning at Genesis. But she said start off somewhere in the middle, probably in the New Testament, and then work way back. But she said, and what was very intriguing to me, that she said that you can have different, sometimes one Bible may not be good for one person, and it's good for another person. It's like, what do you mean? Just like chicken. Some people may like fried chicken. Some people may like baked chicken. Some people may like barbecue chicken. Some people like grilled chicken. It's all chicken, but it's presented a different way. Same thing with Bibles. There's all different kind of Bibles. But as long as they say the same thing, or they lead you to the same destination, which is to be serving Christ, then it doesn't matter what Bible you read. So some may like the King James. I like the Tony Evans. Some may like I think it's NIV, or all different kind of Bibles. You need to find the one that that resonates with you, that can bring you the most knowledge and bring you closer to a relationship with God. So just because your dad may read one Bible, your mom may read one Bible, it doesn't mean you have to read it. As long as you read a Bible and it gives you the word, but maybe in a different way or a different light or something. But as long as they say the same thing, they lead you to the same conclusion that God is our Savior and that Jesus died on the cross for us to save our souls, then it's done its purpose. So I really thought it was interesting. I just want to thank also my boss, the sheriff I work for. He is a very good man. He doesn't. I've worked for 4 sheriffs in my career, and he is the best by far. And I'm not just saying that because he promoted me and I made a rank and stuff, but he definitely he is a man of God. Just by every influence we have, he prays. He goes to church, and he tries to do what's right. I've seen some in the past do stuff that's crazy, or they make a decision. Why'd you do that? Because I'm the sheriff. He doesn't do that. He'll tell you why he did it, and then he'll show you why, and then he tries to teach you, and then he wrestles with things. He has a conscience, and he'll wrestle with something, and then he'll try to do whatever is best for that person. You try to do whatever. Ultimately, he's going to do what's best for the sheriff's office. But if he can work with you somewhere in there and not let you go or demote you, whatever the case may be, then he's going to do that. And I just want to thank him for giving me the opportunity to do what I do. He didn't have to choose me. He could choose whoever he wanted to. A sheriff in the department can choose whoever he wants to. He can let go whoever he wants to. But he chose me, and I definitely appreciate that. I appreciate one of my best friends, probably my oldest best friend. Name is Jamie Cooper. This man, we have known each other since 1995 when I first started policing, and he has never changed one bit from when I met him day one to day now. And when I say about not changed one bit, is that if I call him, hey, what's up, buddy? We need to get together. Hey, how's the wife doing? This, and this. If he needs something, he know he got it. If that man needs something, all he got to do is call, and he has it. If Danny has it, Jamie has it, and it's the vice versa. If Jamie has it, then Danny has it. And sometimes we may talk once or twice a week. Sometimes we not talk for months. But when we talk, it's always the same. And I know that if he is in trouble and needs my help, I'm coming. If he's in trouble and I'm in trouble and I need his help, he's coming. True blue friend. He's the closest man to being a biological brother than my brothers. It's my brothers first. He's next. So in some cases, he might be before them in some cases, but that's my true blue friend, man. I love him. We've been through a lot together, and I thank God for that he's in my life. Now he has two things that I don't know what is going on with his thought process, but I still love him. First of all, he's a Dallas Cowboy fan, and Dallas Cowboy fans, oh my Lord. I told him, and this is true, you can mark this down. The next time Dallas Cowboys go to the Super Bowl and win it, everybody else that's not a Dallas Cowboy fan will have to physically leave this planet because they're going to act crazy and fool and take over. They ain't going to start partying. It's going to be a celebration that like you've never seen. And the only way to have peace, you're going to have to leave this planet because they're going to act plumb fool. So, Lord, don't let them win in my lifetime. Second thing, he likes a certain presidential candidate that I just can't support. I will never support. And that's his prerogative. But I'm like, really? Come on now. I know what kind of man you are, and you supporting that. But again, just two things. If those only two things he do, and that's it. Hey, I love him. But he know I love him, and we pick at each other. But yeah, boy, you gotta do better. Who else? In my career, a lot of people helped me. My old assistant chief name is Bobby Williams, and when I first made a sergeant, it took me 12 years to make sergeant. When I made a sergeant, I went to my hometown department in 2006. There was a sergeant. 95, I started policing. 2006, I became a sergeant for the first time, and I was scared. I knew I could do it, but never had a full responsibility, especially like on night shift, that I was the head one out there and the decisions flow through me. And I was like, oh. And he told me, he said, Danny, before you make a decision, a dumb decision, something you're not sure of, you call me and you run it past me, and I'm going to walk you through this, and we're going to get you where you need to be till you feel comfortable. And that meant a lot to me because a lot of times, assistant chief or high rankings, they don't be calling me at nighttime. You the sergeant, you do whatever, you make decisions. But hey, he didn't, and he walked me through, and I was already confident, but he made me more sure of myself, and he believed in me. And the ideas that I ran to him, he would sit down and show me the pros and cons of it, and just gave me guidance and did things that he didn't have to do. And I definitely appreciate him. I probably would have never been as successful as I am now if I wouldn't have break away from the bigger department I was at and come there and learn that, because at the bigger department that I was at, and I'm not throwing shade at it, I was going to be stagnant. It was a big department, but I was a small fish. I was going to be stagnant. Didn't have an opportunity to grow because of certain things. I wasn't in the right clique. I wasn't the right hunting and fishing, this kind of stuff. And I'm not blaming them. That's just the way it is. But when I left, went back to a small department, I became a bigger fish in a smaller pond, and it helped my growth. It centered my growth, because there's a sermon I heard about being a good seed in bad soil. I'm not saying the big department was bad soil, but the soil that I was in wasn't providing me enough nutrients. So I had to go to a field that was going to provide me enough nutrients and let me grow. And by going back to my hometown, Lake City, I grew and I matured more. There came a point where that soil wouldn't provide me enough nutrients, and I was done a little bit wrong. I felt some kind of way how I was done and how I left Lake City. But basically, I'm not going to talk ill of a dead person, because he's not here. He made a decision that I definitely didn't like, and it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth, and it showed me that I had outgrown my hometown department. I need to find some more soil, because I was going to be stagnant here. So I went to the current department I'm at now. Planted there, and I started flourishing. Within about the first year I was there, I went there 2011. 2012, I believe, I made sergeant on Old Patrol. And then I got promoted to CDV investigator in 2013. And then from there, I went to Warrants Division, I think around 2016, I think. Yeah, 2016 to 2017, I was a sergeant of Warrants Division. Was still growing and flourishing, learning new things. And then when the new sheriff came in, I really flourished. He made me sergeant, and then I was sergeant, and then he promoted me to captain. So I jumped from sergeant, skipped over lieutenant, went to captain, and then over a big division, growing and flourishing. Had a different farmer. This farmer knew what he was doing. The old farmer didn't treat. I was still growing under him, but the skill set from the previous sheriff, which is I'm using as a farmer, to the new sheriff, who was a new farmer, he put in more fertilizer, he put in more nutrients, and I was growing, I was flourishing. And so, unbeknownst to me, he called me one day and said, "Hey, I want you to take over this division, Danny, and I'm going to make sure, and I want to give you a raise." And he handed me his paper. So he handed me the paper, and I saw what I was currently making to what I was going to be making, and it was my dream, because I always wanted to be over patrol. And I said, "Yeah, man, I like that." And then I was happy with the raise, and didn't really see the rest of the writing. He said, "I don't think you're getting the big picture, Danny. You look at it again and tell me what you think." And so I look at it again, then I see I was going from captain to major. Didn't have any idea I was ever going to be major. Wasn't on my radar, but I became major, and I was happy. I was ecstatic. I got higher rank. I got a division that I always wanted, was training for, and I got a raise. And I wasn't saved back then. And I look back at it now, and I know how I got that. My parents prayed for me and my siblings all the time. I was getting that blessing and didn't Didn't realize it. And when I heard my mom say one day, she said, "I pray for y'all every day," and I know that what it was. 'Cause I wasn't praying not like that. I was doing what you got to do to get by. The prayers at night. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. That's what I was saying. But not sitting down really praying and really doing what I should have done. I wasn't doing that. But then she told me something that stuck in my mind that said, "Danny, God told me that y'all gonna start praying for yourselves. That we've carried y'all long enough. You gotta do it for yourselves." And when she said that, my first thought was like, "Oh boy." I didn't say it that nice. I said something else. And I told her that this past Saturday, and they started laughing. And then I just knew I had to do it. Now I wasn't looking to get saved in April. I was looking, but when times get hard, times get rough, what do we always do? Oh Lord, woe is me, that kind of stuff. And that morning time was hard. I'm usually someone in control, usually someone that keeps a cool head and can handle stuff and manage stuff. But that day I was distraught. The only word to describe it was distraught. I couldn't go to the work. I was riding around in my truck, upset. And I talked to my mom. She said, "Danny, you got to find somebody that you trust and put this in God's hand." And like I said, Pastor Ford. Boom, went to him. I've been saved. I've been going strong ever since. I'm gonna tell that story too about how the sheriff. That election from when I was a sergeant to when I became captain was a very tumultuous. I think that's the correct word. I like that. It was very interesting. I'll put that, a very interesting election. And basically, the 6 months prior to the sheriff coming in, it was like anything goes. Whatever you want to do, the old administration didn't care. So he asked to meet with me before the meeting, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do that because I don't want to rock the boat. But I met with him, and we ate dinner and discussed and talked stuff. And he said, "Danny, what would you like to do? Might be coming to office. You had your pick on anything you wanted to do. What would you like to do?" And hey, I was like, boom, thank you. In my mind, I want to be lieutenant over patrol division. That was my goal. I want to be over patrol division, lieutenant rank. If that's what you're going to give me, I will gladly take that. And I told him, and he said, "No, I'm not going to give you that." So in my mind, I'm like, well, why in the blankety blank did you ask me if you're not going to give me what I want? That didn't make no sense to me. He said, "I'm not going to give you lieutenant. I'm going to give you this." And he showed it to me, and it was captain. It was over 5 divisions. I was like, holy moly. Wow. Never saw that coming either. But again, prayer from my parents. I knew that what it was. Now I knew that what it was. And it was a blessing. And then, like I said, from captain, I think a year or two later, year and a half later, to major. So good seed and bad soil. But when I got transported to the correct soil, which is where I'm at now, get the proper farmer that's giving me the nutrients, the water, let the sunlight, all that stuff hit me. I'm growing and prospering. And now it's time for me to try and grow and prosper other stuff. It's time for me to sprinkle fertilizer. It's time for me to pull the weeds on up and coming officers so I can pass the baton off to them. And that's what I'm trying to do. And definitely with this show right here and with my new mindset and with my new thought process, I'm trying to be the best version of Danny I can be. And part of that is thanking all the ones that had a hand in getting me here. I think the entire Graham family, the Graham family, my mind is one of the best families in the world. We are tight. We maybe not as tight as we once were. And when I say that, we don't get together like we used to, but we know if we call somebody in our family, they're coming. They're gonna help. We've always been a family that likes to work, have a good time, and I love being a part of it. I'm very proud of my name. I'm very proud of the family that I came from. 2 of my uncles, they're no longer with us. They had a hand in making me the man I am today, and I miss them. My uncle Alan was a quiet man, hard worker, but you could depend on him. My Uncle Bo Pete, man, he was charismatic. He was the life of the party. He taught me how to be a man. He was very, hey, if you say something he didn't like or you say something that was crazy, he's quick to tell you, hey, look, that ain't how it is, da 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 da. And you know you stood with him, man. His nickname was Bo Peep, and man, I miss him. My nephew, he drowned here a few years ago. Um, he would have been awesome. This cat was on a different level. I didn't quite understand it at first. I'm like, he too young to have this kind of poise, this kind of charisma, this kind of knowledge and this kind of control and understanding when he speak. Man, he was magnetic when he speak. Man, the things he would say and the way he put things together. Um, when it happened, I was angry. I'm not gonna say I was angry at God. I was just angry like, why did this happen? Why did this good person, this awesome person, this person that would have been a fantastic soldier for good and for positivity and for Jesus, why did this happen? And but like I said, I'm going to continue to say it. God don't make mistakes. He doesn't make mistakes. So we don't understand why he does things, but he does things for a reason. So if we follow him, when we die, we go to heaven, then we can just it would be revealed to us why he does what he does, and that's what I believe. And then if I want to see Rashad again, I know I got to get my soul right. My family, if they want to see him again, you got to get your soul right. So that's the reason why he did it. What else? I'm lose my train of thought. Yeah, my cousin Terry, he passed too. There was a time when I first got military, I was a little down, dark and depressed, and I was just like sitting on the couch, just want to sleep all day, didn't want to interact, didn't want to do nothing, just leave me alone, and let me sit here and watch TV and let me sleep. My cousin Terry, he didn't let that happen. He's like, come on, let's get up, let's go, and he got me out that funk. It was him, because I was gonna stay on the couch, sleep, chill, and I didn't care about nothing. I just wanted to be left alone. But Terry wouldn't leave me alone. He got me up. He got me back in the flow of things, man. He took time with me, man, talked with me, brought Danny back to life. So I will never forget that. There's just so many people in my past that's helped me, and I know I'm probably missing somebody, and I don't intend to miss anybody. But I want to thank you, my YouTube family, Anzo, Guy Scar, Chris Knight, Robert Storm, DJ, LDG. It's so many. God, please forgive me. Spoiler Kings, new people I met. Fatal J, Mark with the C, Dark Council. Man, y'all guys been awesome. We haven't always agreed on things. Perp minded. We haven't always agreed on things, man. But it's always been a level of respect, and I will definitely never forget that. Enjoy each one of the friendships and conversations that we had. Robert Storm in particular. When I first wanted to do this, man, Robert Storm made me want to become a YouTuber. I saw him, man, and I saw him talk about the first Black Panther, and I was like, man, this is a white guy talking this stuff like Black Panther, man. He coming at it pretty hard, but what he's saying it's all right. He's telling the truth. So, man, I hunted Robert for a minute, boy. I mean, hey, man, let me on your show. I'm interested in doing that. Let me on your show. And at first, he's like, I don't know, man. I got to see how you are and stuff. So maybe we'll try a trial run and stuff. So when I first started, man, I was happy, man. But my equipment was crap. It was ghetto as it can be. If you go back and watch my early videos, you're like, oh my Lord, Danny, what are you doing? Man, I was in the bathroom. I was using some of my grandson's action figures to do things, man. It was crazy. It's terrible. And man, sometimes my internet wasn't good, and man, Robert would tell me, he said, man, I ain't putting this on there because your equipment ain't good, bro. Man, you gotta do better. You gotta do better to tighten up. So man, steady fussing, not fussing, but constructive criticism, harsh, strong love, and man, I started getting my equipment better. Then you got to talk more. Then I was kind of quiet stuff because he was just spitting off stuff like boom, 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 boom. I'm like, man, I know some things, but I don't know all the stuff he do. So it made me up my game on research and stuff. So, but man, he put me through that first, man. But I'm glad he put me through that fire, because when you put that pressure on somebody, you bring out the best of them. If you can withstand the pressure that life puts on you, you come out better and more polished and more successful in the end. And that's what it did. He was a catalyst for that. He put pressure on me, And now I think I'm so much better. I hope y'all think I'm better than I was when I first started. I think I'm even better now in doing this particular show, The Road to Wisdom, when I initially started about a month and a half ago. So, but initially getting into this, Robert Storm gave me my break, and now I'm on here, and now he's invited me to the show. I'm a regular on the show, and man, I thank him. I just thank everybody. I could go on all day, and I don't want to take up much more of your time because I've been on here for 35 minutes. But at the end of the day, I just want to say, if you had any influence, if you ever watch my show and ever hit subscribe, hit like, hit notification, send a comment, I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. And like I said, man, I'm going to keep doing this till God tell me to do something differently. And I hope that if you're going to walk with me on this journey, that you get you some good shoes, because I'm going to keep walking on this road to wisdom. And I'll be back tomorrow with a word. And I love y'all. Thank y'all. Have a blessed day. Until then, take it easy.